But you know, something else that really impresses me about you too is you write all your own music and have for quite a while. What is it about that process that you enjoy so much?
Songwriting is the thing that really is actually the way that I started. I had friends and we would get together after school and we would just write songs, and it started off as just a fun thing to do. And I became obsessed with it because it's this, you get a little spark and you kind of carry it through, and in the end it's so satisfying when you've said through a song exactly what you wanted to say, and you can hide meanings in songs. Like, it's like poetry, it's symbolic, so you could tell someone you like them without really telling them. You know, I used to do that with,
I'm jealous
with boyfriends. I used to send them poems and they didn't know if they were really boyfriends or not, you know, because it was kind of subtle.
Oh, so it was a mystery thing.
So I was keeping them hanging a little, you know.
When did you start writing? Was it when you were what, like 12?
17,
or young?
I think.
17?
Yeah, I always wanted to write songs before then, but I kind of felt a bit locked up. And I looked over my journal entries recently, and there's so many times, like since I was really young, and I'm just going, I want to write songs, and I can't. And my main problem was that I wanted them to be perfect, and I would judge myself a lot. You know, and I guess when I was 17, as I just started to go, look, this is what I want to do, and I started writing, really, even if there were stupid songs, I would just write anything every day, a little bit, even if it was just half an hour or 15 minutes, and eventually it's just like the skills started to come. And
that's almost a good idea for anyone, though. I think journaling and writing and just getting things out, especially for women. Did you really?
It helps, doesn't it? I think that's why Unwritten kind of took off so much, because it's a very personal song. You know, for me, you know, life can be, well, I think for most people, especially when you're a teenager, life is very scary because you don't know where to start. You know, it's like, oh, it feels like you've got to make these huge decisions really young.
Now, Natasha studied psychology at university, thinking that would also help with her songwriting. And a year later, she quit, but it wasn't long before she scored a record deal, and her debut album, Unwritten, quickly became a smash hit in the UK. You know, I remember, you know, it was not too long ago when you came here to the U.S. and virtually nobody knew you here, but you were a megastar in the UK. Was that a humbling experience for you, or did you enjoy the challenge of having to kind of reprove yourself all over again?
Yeah, well, my music, it got released and it blew up pretty quickly in England, and you know, like my first single went #1 in the first week, and when I came to America, I think it was this big realization of how little England is as a country, and coming here, and it was, you know, every state is bigger than England, and so I had to just realize that I kind of had to travel around and do the circuit and pay my dues.
Certainly, and you know what you did? You really did. I mean, you worked it hard just to get some exposure. Did you realize that it was going to be as much work as it was when you got here?
No, I didn't realize that, no. First I was coming for just a few weeks, and then I started to have some success, you know, just some bites, you know, you just kind of throw your net out and you just start realizing, oh, okay, there's some interest here, you know, and I ended up staying for 6 months and just going around to radio stations and meeting people. And
what stands out the most for you around that time? I mean, what kinds of things were you doing at these radio stations?
I mean, I did.
You hit like 3 states in a day at some times.
Yeah,
I was
did.
reading. What were?
And just, well, singing just acoustically was one of the things that I did a lot. I just went with one of my friends who was a guitarist, and we just played for people, and it was really nice just to get back to basics and be like, you know, instead of you know, all the lights and the band and the crowds, and it was just, can you stand up as a singer and, you know, acoustically, and
that must have been
there were some funny things. There were some like just situations like the Bedingfield barbecue, you know, someone won a chance to have me come to their house and sing to them, and, you know, there was a couple getting married in a mall. I mean,
so you're talking like 20 and 30 people versus, you know, thousands of screaming fans and stadiums selling out. That
and
must have been...
actually what's weird is that a small crowd is harder to sing in front of than a big
I was going to
one.
ask you, you probably didn't spend a lot of time playing acoustic either. That was probably before you started doing the
Exactly, because I just went from the studio to doing big stages and singing to thousands, hundreds and thousands, and yeah.
That's incredible.
It was definitely an interesting experience.
And your brother, his success that happened shortly before yours, Daniel Bedingfield, who had a #1 smash and a number of hits here in the States. Got to get through this. When you saw that he was successful, or did his success kind of help prepare you for your success here?
You know, he's the older brother, and he always has paved the way.
Yeah.
And I respect him so much. And him coming over here for sure and having a hit, and another song, If You're Not the One, which Simon Cowell says is his favorite pop song of that, the last few years. And, definitely it was a hard act to kind of follow. I think that when you have that much respect for someone, you kind of feel like you better be good as well.
Well, we have a little surprise for you.
Do you?
Yeah, we like to surprise our guests from someone you recently worked with. Has a question for you.
Oh.
Take a look.
What Guan, it's your boy Kingston. And Natasha, I got a big question for you. My question is, how does it feel to have your song Unwritten used as a theme song for the show The Hills?
Hey, that is cool. Hello.
Mr. Sean himself.
Yes, Sean Kingston himself. He sounds like is that in Jamaica probably?
Yeah, I wonder if he is. That was really cool. He heard you were going to be
cool.
here, so he wanted
How
to
lovely.
give you a little shout out.
Oh, and I had such a fun time with him. We had a song that we sang together called Love Like This. Fantastic, and he's just a really actually positive person, which it's nice to bump into people like that who aren't trying to be all kind of, I don't know,
In your face and
trying to prove something.
Yeah.
It just felt like there was a sweetness about him.
Oh, how do you feel about the song Unwritten being used as a theme?
It was amazing. Yeah, let me think. How do I answer? Because there's so many things that have happened with Unwritten. First it was a radio hit and was like the #1 most played song on radio, and then The Hills picked it up as their theme song. And this is just it's such a great thing as a songwriter to have your song connected with a show that's, it was like the highest rated show that MTV has, I think, ever had. And, just really perfect. It's all the people that watch my gigs and listen to my music. They also watch The Hills, so it was quite a perfect.
The song just took
pairing
on
there.
a life of its own and when.
Yeah,
all right,
and Obama used it in his campaign as well, which, I mean, I couldn't be prouder of that.
I wonder if that's what helped him win.
I like to think so.
Great. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Natasha Bedingfield performs her new single, Soulmate, off her latest release,